Now, we're going to go over these dates now, because I'm going to pull up my handy dandy. Oh, it's not on there. All programs. Where is it? They change these computers every week, so you just have to bear with them. Active software. Expire. Tools, more tools, screen recorder, full screen. And this is Math 110. And today's date is 8/18. Okay, so somebody get their handy dandy calendar out now that we've got all these dates written. And we're going to go through and we're going to write down these dates so we can put it on video so nobody can say didn't know what's going on. As soon as I calibrate this airplane thing. Where's the calibrate? It's supposed to be down here, but it's not. I hate the first day of class. Okay, it's not going to calibrate. Okay, well, we'll just do the best we can with it. Oh, I know why we don't have a smartphone in here. Great. Okay, so we're going to change that. I got to have a smartboard or Promethean. All right, what's the first day? Well, today is the first day of class. First day of class. And that is 8/18/14. Okay, somebody tell me when the tentative area means what? Around. Somebody's going to go home. Oh my God, we're going to have a test on the 5th. We're going to have a test on the 5th. All right. What is that area? Around
9/8. So September 8th.
9/8 is going to be the Unit 1 test. Okay, somebody give me the next one. Around
9/29.
9/29 is going to be Unit 2 test.
May 18/20.
Around 10/20 is going to be what? Don't look at my typing, I suck. 10/20 is going to be Unit 3 test.
And then 11/10 for the Unit 4.
Around 11/10 is going to be the Unit 4 test. And then, when's the final exam? Or when's the last day of class?
11/25.
God, look how that works out. It just works
Do
out.
you need to put 24 just to make sure they understand?
11/25, what?
Last
14.
day of class.
Huh?
This is the last day of class. Do you need to put 11/24 so people won't get confused?
Yeah, we better, because somebody will call me with some. Oh. And exams,
Is
week
the December 2 through the 8th.
12/2 through 12/8. Okay. Now, how hard was that? That took, I came in here about what, 45 after, what time is it right now? Okay, that took maybe 10 or 15 minutes.
Can you blow it up?
Can I blow it up?
So they can make sure they see.
No, I can't see. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm so sarcastic and so cynical. I'm usually not like this. Unless somebody makes me this way. I mean, and then I had the audacity to have, I didn't have the audacity. One of my students last semester had the audacity to say that I caused him to make a lower grade in my online class because I didn't give him the dates for the exams. I do give you the dates. They're on my Labs Plus. Anyway, we'll talk about that in just a minute. All right, so I want y'all to write those down. Now, it says around. When I get ready to give you a test, I usually, okay, let's go back to the syllabus. Everything goes back to the syllabus. Let's go back to the syllabus and let's look at the syllabus. I gotta pull it back up again. There it is. Let's say today we start 1.2. All right, there's 1.2 right there at the top. And we get to 1.2 and we finish 1.2. What do you think we'll do, Wednesday? That's some real hard thinking there, isn't it? I have students come to me after class, and y'all verify this. They'll come up to me after class and say, I'm not going to be here Wednesday. What are we going to go over? Why do I have to tell you what I'm going over when it's right there?
But even if you're not here, all you do is go on the internet and look at your online video.
Yeah. Thank you. All right? Now, let me ask you a question. Let's say it's a week or two from now, and I get to 2.5. What should be going through everybody's mind? The test coming up. He's getting toward the end of the unit. And then when I get to 2.6, and I cover 2.6, and we cover questions on 2.6, guess what I'm going to say in the class? I'm going to say it's time for a what? Test. I'll post it today, and it'll be good through so-and-so day. Now, how hard is that? It's not hard. But students can break an anvil with a banana. They can. They can take something that is simple and make it difficult. All right? Go to your handout that says things I will be graded on. I'll pull it up for those that didn't get their emails and didn't read it and didn't print it, didn't do anything I asked. I'll pull it up. And I think it's just on the handout. I think it's Sunday email and syllabi. What to bring to class. Where's my handout? I guess I didn't send it to myself. Okay, I'll just go to that. Bring to class. There's Sunday handouts. Things to be graded on. This is the second most important handout there are. Okay, there it is. The first one you just pulled out. Here's the two most important. Daniel, let me see those two. I have to show everybody. These are the two most important pages in your handouts, period. Because this one tells you when to schedule things, and this one tells you about the test and the homework. Simple as that. These two right here. So keep these on the. I tell students, if you got one of these notebooks with a plastic cover on the front, put this one in the front and put this one in the back, so you'll have them all the time. And 2 or 3 out of 30 do it. 2 or 3 students out of 30 do it. It says, here are things you will be graded on for this course. Refer to your syllabus. Refer to your syllabus for the exact number of units. Most classes have 4-unit tests. Some do not. You are a class with 4-unit tests. Here is a simple rule. Fall and spring semesters are 14 weeks. If you have 4 units, then it'd be 14 divided by 4, which rounds out to about 3.5 weeks per unit. If you have 5 units, that would be 2.8 weeks, which is about 3 weeks. With this high level of mathematics, we can go in our calendar and map out where we need to be. Homework. Homework online is started when I start the material. You don't need to worry about doing any homework until I start doing math. It's as simple as that. But the squirrel student, y'all will go home tonight and try to do a whole chapter of homework just so you can come in tomorrow and say, I finished unit 1. I don't care. You're not impressing me. We'll give you the final exam tomorrow if you want it and get you out of here. Homework online is started. For example, this is made up. I have to put this is made up. Do you know why I have to put this is made up? Because if I put this is not made up, I'll have some students saying that we're going to have 8.1 and they'll go on and start studying 8.1 through 8.8. When we get to 8.7 in the class, that's when you need to worry about a test and a deadline for the homework. You need to write this down. That's me, do not start test until I have covered all sections. I terminate, that's T-E-R-M with a period, homework the day before the test starts. Okay, so I do not start test until I have covered all sections, and I terminate the homework the day before the test starts. And that's what this means basically right here. You can print out the homework, and I will show you how to do that Wednesday when we go over My Labs Plus. If you don't see a start date or an end date, you don't need to what? Worry about it. I have students in here that are worried about covering all the material that's in the syllabus. I will cover what the class allows me to cover. If y'all are all rocket scientists, then we'll cover all unit 1, 2, 3, 4 probably in a timely fashion. Is everybody in every class going to be rocket scientists? No. There are going to be some people that need help with this. There's going to be some people that need help with that. And that determines the tempo of the class. Again, if you are a overachiever and you scored 1,800 on your SAT, don't know why you're here, then you need to see me and I will give you a final exam and we can get you on out of here. Because you're going to make the class uncomfortable, because you're going to be one of those people that knows it all. Now we're going to talk about know-it-alls and people. We're going to talk about that.
Are you not leaving the homework open the whole entire semester this time?
I only do that during the summer. And that's a headache, let me tell you, that's a headache. All right? Now, a lot of teachers go, okay, well, we're going to do 1.2 today, and you have 3 days to do the homework, and it shuts off. I ain't doing that. Because that is just waiting. That's a war I don't want to fight. Okay? Because y'all have 5 dead grandmothers, and you have 15 flat tires, and you have 4 jobs that you work 48 hours a day in, and you have 15 kids all in diapers. You understand? I don't. So I give you the whole time until the test. So it's all open. Now, that's a double-edged sword. For those people that are jumping around like that squirrel, you'll get it done early. For some of you that lean on the procrastinating side, you're going to do it at the last minute. So try to do it as we go through it. Okay? Online test. Yes, I give all my tests online. Now you need to write that down, because one of y'all are going to come up to me toward the end of the semester, and you know what you're going to ask me? I'm giving you all 4 tests online. You know what you're going to ask me? Is final online? Nope. I'm going to give you all 4 tests online, and then I'm going to give you an in-class final exam. That's not very uniform. All right? Online test. The following information is about taking all my tests online and exam. I will give you 2 or 3 chances to take the test. My Labs Plus will do what? Take the higher of the 2 or 3 grades. If you take 2 tests, if there's 2 chances, and you make a 50 and an 80, then that automatically takes the 80 and puts it in your grade. I do not average grades. It does not say that on the handout. So don't come up to me and ask me, do you take the higher grades or do you average? I won't answer you, because I just did. I will give you 7 to 10 days to take the test. That's because of the 5 flat tires and the 5 dead grandmothers and the 10-day funerals and all this stuff that y'all come up with. You don't see a due date, you don't need to worry about it. Who needs to worry about the due date? You or me? Me. That's who needs to worry about it. Next page. Well, I hit the little arrow. You can take the test on your time. You don't take it while I'm going over the next material. Now, I usually give a question and answer session the last day before the test. In other words, if we go over 6.7 on Monday, I will leave Wednesday open for a question and answer day before I go into chapter 7. And I will leave that day open, and chances are the test will start around Tuesday or Wednesday if I have that review day on Wednesday. So I give everybody ample chances to send in homework. And how is the best way to send in homework? We'll get to that, but it's Ask My Instructor button on Course Compass, My Lab Plus, whatever it's called. Okay? Multiple choice and open answer. And after you take the test, you can review it. You can print it out and review it after you've taken it. So if you want to take it again, then you can study for it. Now, it is not going to be the exact same test. I pull problems. In other words, if I give you 10 questions on a test, each question can pull from about 5 or 6 to 80 questions to pull from for that one question. I scramble them, and I reword them, and I also algorithmically generate. So there's 4 different ways that I jumble up the test. The chances of you getting the same test as your neighbor, very, very slim. Okay? Here are your 4 test grades. This, 60% of your test. So you need to go out here and draw a bracket. Average times 0.6. Average times 0.6. The homework, average times 0.2. And the final is your final average times 0.2. And you add those 3 grades up, 3 numbers up. Now it's time to write something else on the board. On your test, these tests right here, I give you 6 to 7 questions that are questions. What's some of those questions? Can y'all remember?
What's my email and phone
What?
number? Your email address, phone number.
Yeah, what's my email address?
What are the grade percentages?
60, 20, and 20. I just went over it. What, you mean another one?
What branch of the military did you serve?
What branch of the military was I in? This is all in the handouts.
Marine.
There's 6 of them. Don't put Army. Please don't. All right? There's 6 to 7. Now I want you to, if I give you 20 questions, let's say 20 questions on the test. That's 6 times what? 5. 6 times 5 is 30 points. On each of these tests, I'm giving you how many points free?
30.
Around 30. 24 to 36, depending on how much. So please, do not come to me at the end of the semester and ask for what? Don't ask for points. Don't do that, because I give you about 30 points per test. And I'm going to add some more to it. I'm going to add some more questions. Because some of these questions I ask are the questions that y'all come and ask me at the end of the semester. I do not replace any grades. Write that down. I do not replace any grades. Now I'm going to say that about 5 times. Because y'all get in your head, just because it's in some syllabus, that it says some teachers may. I do not replace any grades. And I'm going to put do not. I do not replace any grades. And the reason that I do not replace any grades is because I'm giving you 30 points. I'm basically giving you an extra test grade. Because what's 30 times 4? 120. I'm basically giving you an extra test grade. Mathematically. So I don't need you coming to me asking me for a 0.5, or I don't need you asking me, can I redo this test? Because sometimes I've been known to open up the last week and just let people have at taking any test over. Okay? I've done that before. I do that with fall and spring. Summer I don't do it too well. Yeah, I did it with y'all, but I also opened up the whole semester for y'all. So, all right. So that should answer any questions you have about tests, about grades, about what I do and what I don't do, what I give you. Okay. Now that takes care of scheduling. That takes care of the syllabus. That takes care of logistics and methods of the classroom as far as homework and stuff like that. Now let's talk about classroom decorum. Now, my students will tell you that I'm pretty laid back. Even though I'm very sarcastic right now, I'm pretty laid back. All right? Let's go over class courtesies. Okay, I don't like the way this thing. There. Hubert's number 1 rule. It's a rule I use in all my classrooms. I treat students the way what? I want to be treated. And that means sarcasm too. If I say, okay, let's turn to page 626, and then I turn around and ask y'all what page are we on, you've got all the right to say, loser, you just said page 526. All right? I treat you the way that I want to be treated. Now, I do not intentionally embarrass students. Do I? Unless they ask for it. You know, if you wear a sign around your neck that says, please make fun of me because I like to put a bone through my nose, then yeah, I'm going to make fun of you. All right? Some people do things for attention. I ignore people when they do things for attention. So if I ignore you, that might be telling you something. All right. Most of the time, 90% of the time, I've been teaching for 19 years. Do you know how many people I had to escort out of my room? 2. In 19 years, 2. One was a social, awkward person. I just told him, I said, you're just going to have to leave. He just couldn't. People, somebody would tell a joke, and everybody would laugh, and 15 minutes later, he would laugh. I mean, he was just socially awkward, and I just couldn't handle it. And I told my boss, I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. The other person was just a jerk. He was just a jerk, had his girlfriend. I'm still friends with his girlfriend now. She graduated Clemson. She works for Jeff Duncan, one of the senator's offices. She's a political science major, graduate. She's going places. She's great. But he was a jerk, and I said, this is the way we need to do this. And he said to her, don't do it that way. You need to do it this way. And I said, look, bud, you need to leave. And he said, gladly. And he had something against me since the first day. I don't know what. But, and he told her, he said, come on, let's go. And she said, I ain't going anywhere. And she stayed in the class, and he left, which made him, oh gosh, he turned red. And they broke up after that day, and she went on and did her thing, and now she's doing good. And I actually reminded her the other day about the a-hole, and she says, I don't know what happened to him. I was stupid. I said, we all go through it. But now she's doing great. But anyway, that's the only 2 times I've had to throw somebody out of class. And my class is usually pretty laid back. My phone goes off. Everybody has a cell phone. 99% of the people have a cell phone. Mine goes off. It probably went off already. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. But half the time, students text me that's in the classroom. Hopefully, y'all will tell me if my fly's open or if something's open on my back. I mean, something on my back or whatever. Please. That's my biggest fear, that and falling in class. I don't want to fall in class. I haven't, to this day, I haven't tripped in class, and I always check my fly. So, those 2 things are my biggest fear. But
You need to knock on some wood, because you're gonna jinx yourself.
I use them. Now, I try to turn mine down. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to use a cell phone when mine is up here and going off. That's called what? Starts with H. It's hypocrite. It's hypocritical. All right? Now, I have 2 or 3 things that I will answer my phone for. 2 of them are my kids. If I get Westside High School, or if I get McLeese calling me, or if I get Westside calling me, then I'm gonna say, excuse me, or my mom. Okay? My mom, bless her heart, my dad was the same way. He passed away in January. My mom, I could give her my schedule, and she would put it on the door. She'd still call in the middle of class. Okay? It ain't on. So if she calls, I have to answer because something may be wrong. Callie may be out, or something like that. And I ask you to do the same thing. If you get, some of you got kids, some of you got sisters, younger sisters, siblings. Some of you got mom and dad that have diapers. I don't know. Some of you have mom and dads that don't listen, like mine. Daycare, schools. If you get a text or a call and it says daycare, school, homework, work, home, then you just say, you don't have to say anything. Just walk out there and answer. Simple as that. If you come up to me and ask me a question after class, and while you're asking me a question, I start texting, what is that? Rude. And phone quick, please, this. All right? Then what's the difference in you asking me a question and talking to me and I'm texting? What's the difference in me talking up here and you texting? What's the difference? There is none. I don't do it to you, so you don't do it to me. And I will call you out on it. Okay? Now, what if you're texting me and telling me, well, that's something different, okay? If you're texting me and saying, class was over 30 minutes ago, that won't happen because I know there's 2 or 3 people in here that will tell me that class is over. But just be courteous, that's all I ask. If you need to talk to somebody, if you need to text somebody, just quietly get up and go outside in the hallway and talk away or text away. Play games if you want to. If you have to play a game, go out there. Okay? Texting is not a good idea in other classes. Some teachers are not like me. 99% of the teachers are not like me. They will have cardio infarctions, or whatever you call them. They will go into hysteria if you even put a phone on your desk. All right? So I would suggest that you feel your teacher out. But 99% of them are going to be the opposite of me when it comes to cell phones. Okay? Just telling you. Especially if you're a high school student coming in. So there's a few teachers like me, but not many. This is not an online class. It's what they used to call a hybrid. But they messed the hybrids up, so I just keep calling this a hybrid. You do all your homework and tests online. I do nothing but what? Teach. I don't do any paperwork. If you take the test that I give, 4-unit tests, I give them to you. You take the test, I grade it, I give back. That's how many days? That's 8 days that I could be teaching. If I check homework 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, depending on how much I do, let's say 15 minutes. Each week I spend 30 minutes. 30 minutes times 10, I'm just going to say 10 because 14. 30 minutes times 10 is 300. Plus you add 4 more. I don't know how much that is. Oh my gosh, my phone went off. Y'all supposed to go into hysterics. Let's just say 300 minutes. What's 300 divided by 60? 5 hours, right? 5 hours, this is an hour and a half class. That's 2.5 classes, isn't it? Or two, let's see, hour and a half, an hour and a half, an hour and a half. What is that? That's 4.5 hours. So let's just say 5 classes. How many classes do I spend doing paperwork? 13 to 14 classes. I could be teaching. And that's why when I started at Tri-County Tech, that's when I started using, it was called Interact, then it was called Course Compass, and then when they integrated it into all the math classes, it's called MyLab Plus. And that's why I started using it. So, attendance. Oh my God. Attendance. Financial aid has put a, okay. Which one of y'all are doing it? One of y'all are doing it. Good gosh. Let me see. No, I don't know who that is. That's for my ringback tones. They asked me, I hope you're enjoying your ringback tones. Anyway, I thought it was students. What was I talking about? Financial aid has basically grabbed Tri-County Tech and said, you need to have an attendance policy because we got people ripping us off. Okay? Okay, I was supposed to read off this big attendance thing, but you can't miss 14 days or you will be dropped. Listen, I will take attendance in here today, and I'll take it Wednesday. If you have something that you need to do, and you just can't just come in here, write me a note, put it on here, cross the threshold, let me see you, and I will mark you here. That will keep you from having to you will get a nasty email every time you're absent in my class or any other class. Now, I don't know how your other teachers are doing it, if they're going by the book, but I'm not, because there's no way. I cannot make you be here every single week. Some of you have kids, some of you have parents, some of you have siblings that need to go to the doctor, some of you work, and you cannot be here All I ask you to do is put your head through the door or bring in a note and put it on mine before I get here, or come to my office before I get here and say, look, can you count me here? Now, the first couple of weeks, I'm going to have to get you to write your name down because I don't know of you. I know 5 or 6 of you, but that's about it. Is that fair enough? What I tell students is try to be here once a week. If you're here once a week, either Monday or Wednesday, then you won't ever have to worry about the attendance gurus writing you a nasty email saying that you're going to be dropped. 14 days is it, 2 weeks. That's what they say, 2 weeks. Not 14 days in class, that'd be every class, 14 weeks. 14 days, that's 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, if you miss those 4 days, then they're going to ask me to drop you. I don't care about dropping anybody, because what happens when I drop somebody? They come back the next day saying, will you reinstate me? And then we have to go through and reinstate you. They make us drop you, but they tell you and me that I can reinstate you. All right, does anybody want to ask a question?
Why?
Why? Because it's financial aid and the U.S. government. And y'all are milking the system. Y'all are criminals. I wish they'd go after, shut up you. I wish they'd go after those people that need to be gone after. All right. Okay, next one. You can read the rest of my class is based on the thought. I generalize when I speak. Oh my gosh. Please, if I say, y'all are a bunch of lazy students, somebody's going to say, you're talking about me. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about students in general. When I say, this student came up to me this morning and asked me about if my test was online. Why would I want to answer that question? All right, I'm not talking about you if you're fixing to answer that, ask that question. I'm talking about the student that already has. Okay, I'm not sitting at home going through my emails saying, I don't like this person, I like this person, I don't like this person, I'm going to make fun of this person. I ain't got time for that. And if any of you see my schedule, I don't have time to worry about stuff like that. And I really don't do that because I don't like embarrassing students. Unless I don't like them. All right, so that's that. Typical class. All right, my former students. Typical class. One word.
Funny.
Huh?
Funny.
Funny. One word. Entertaining or interesting?
So it's energetic because, there's something always going on.
That's
Something
true.
always going on.
Like,
Laid back. Who else has had me before? You've had me. You've had me. What, give me a word.
Jealous.
Jealous?
No, it's a chill.
Oh.
yeah, like you said.
Laid back, chill. Okay. So, any of you squirrels, you need to take one of your, what do you take when you, like OCD or you ADD or whatever that disorder is? You need to take one in pills or some caffeine to kind of calm you down if you're one of those people, okay? Huh? No, some people caffeine calms you down. Depends on your chemistry.
Caffeine was supposed to wake you up.
Well, on most people it does. You're not listening to me. Sometimes she can be such a lie. All right. What irritates me? Oh God, these people irritate me. The know-it-alls. I do not understand why we are in such a mess in the United States. Because the people that are being put out of high schools now, they know everything.
Oh, like that one kid last semester, the one that was like socially awkward.
The one that got in a fight with the
The one that
teacher.
got in a
Right
fight.
here, and I don't, yes, that was awful.
It was awful. We had a student, Miss Wilson, bless her heart. She sat right over there in the back seat, right over there. And she works 40 hours a week, and she comes in right off a third shift, and she tries and she studies. Well, she was asking me a question one day about this and that, and oh my God, he said something, and
He said something about her superiority complex.
yeah, said you people. Don't use you people. okay? And she went off, and it took me 30 minutes to get her calmed down. But he was
Okay.
know-it-all.
There's nobody in here. So, she was black on top of that, so when he said you people.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
And, he was, and then he was like, oh, that's what's bringing down America, you people. I was like,
It was
Yeah.
all about why we had to take math.
Yeah, why we have to take math, and I was trying to explain to her, and he said, well, that's what's wrong with our country, you people and your attitudes, and I was like, oh my God.
oh, no, shush, right there.
Yeah.
Shush.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, there's 2 or 3 kinds of people in a classroom. There is the person that I have no idea what's going on, I have to write down all the notes, I have to do this, I have to copy, I have to practice. That's the person's lost most of the time. Then there's the person that has seen the material but have forgotten it. And that's the person that had Algebra 1 or Algebra 2, and, oh yeah, I remember how to do that. I just got to knock the cobwebs loose. And then there's the person that knows the material, sits there quietly. Nobody ever notices they know the material. Nobody knows they're just sitting there. And then there's the person that won't shut up. Okay? That's the person that you jump into the women's room when you're walking down the hallway just to get out of their way, because they talk too much, and usually their answers that they blurt out are usually what? Wrong. Every math class has one, and every psychology class has one. There's always some guy, and it's usually a guy, I'm sorry girls, most of the time it's a guy because of the inferiority complexes, insecurities. And most of the time it's a guy that has read a book on psychology, and he is a psychiatrist more than the teacher that wrote the book. Okay? So beware. I don't want you in here. You stay home. I will give you all the attendance you need. Stay home. Find a cure for cancer and do what you need to do. Okay? Because I don't want you in here. Because what do you make the class? You make it uncomfortable. And I don't want you in here. And neither does the class. Okay? So if you're one of those people, I tell you what, walk down the hallway, and if people jump out of the way from you, you might be one of those people, okay? If they run into the restroom when they say, oh, hey, and they run into the restroom, you might be one of those people, okay? All right. And that's about my class. I'm not going to go into anything else. Supplies. You can go and get an app for your calculator, Wabbit, W-A-B-B-I-T-E-M-U, isn't it? Go there right now. Wabbit, an app. Wabbit, E-M-U. Pick out whatever calculator you want. I don't know about your iPhones. I think iPhones have to pay for it. Your Androids are free. And when you pull them up, you can pull up your graphic calculator, save you $83. Okay? So that answers your calculator question. Supplies. I don't care what you bring in here. There's nothing mandatory. I would ask that you bring highlighters, because I do ask that you highlight some things that are important, not only for trig, but for calculus. And if some of you have noticed, look at that last page of your syllabus. Have you noticed, well, you may not have noticed something, but look at the last page and look at Unit 1 or Unit 2. What does it say about completing the square? It should have something on there. I wrote it. Let me see that. Halfway through the page, quadratic function graphs. What does it say? Emphasizing completing the square. Quadratic equations, completing the square and discriminant. Applications of quadratic function models, completing the square. I rewrote your syllabus this semester. Why? Because I got tired of seeing students in calculus that have never seen completing the square, because their algebra teachers were not secure enough to show them completing the square, and all they showed them was quadratic formula. and you can't do anything with the quadratic formula except find the x-intercepts, where completing the square gives you the vertex, the y-intercept, and the x-intercepts. And it's all elementary math, where the quadratic formula, you have to depend on what? The calculator. So we will not use quadratic formula because it's useless. So I rewrote the syllabus for Math 110 and 111 just this semester. And that's why it's got those in there. It's got those bold face completing the square. Rationalizing the denominator, we're going to do it till you're sick of it. Because so many students in Calc 1, the first unit test, they don't know how to complete the square. And most of you are headed toward Calc 1. Most of you. Okay? And that's that one. Now, let's go to Hubert's and Poe. Tell me, Ms. Holland. Now, a lot of people say, why in the world did you put your information about yourself? Well, a long time ago, I used to do this with the class. I used to, before email and before the smart boards and before all this other stuff, I used to hand out index cards, and I would get you to write who, what, when, and where, what you do for a living, where'd you go to high school, and then we would mix them up. And then I'd pass them out, and then we'd try to guess and put hobbies and things like that. And we would try to guess who was in the class because everybody has something in common. Everybody. So that's where it came from. And I said, well, I can't do that to my students if I don't tell them a little bit about myself. And then it got to where I stopped doing the index cards and just started telling about myself because I thought it made the class more comfortable for you to know a little bit about your teacher so you don't walk out of the room going, what was his name? So I kept doing it. Now I do it because of these first 7 lines. What do all of those 7 lines have in common? How to get in touch with me. So you can't say what? What? I don't know how to get in touch with you. That's bull crap. Please do not call my office phone because I'm never in my office. Only time I'm in my office is during office hours. If you want to get in contact with me, you call my cell number, or you email me, or you text me because it goes to my cell phone. I live by my cell phone, okay? In other words, I don't cry as bros. That's not what I mean. Everything that I do, it basically comes to this cell phone. All right? So if you want to really contact me, that's the way you need to contact me. Don't call my office and say, I called your office 15 times. I already told you not to call my office because if I'm not in there with office hours, I'm not in there. Okay? There's my Facebook pages. I have several. I have the mathematics page, my YouTube page. It will have your videos on it. Let me go to it. And yes, I'm the only teacher that does that for now. Until somebody else finds out that Hubert's doing it, and when they find out that I'm doing it, they'll go to a conference and spend millions of dollars to do it right after I do it. And I've only done it for the cost of the stand. But you'll see in the real world that's how things work. You'll get an idea, you'll do it, and nobody will notice it, except one person would kiss ass. They'll find out about it, and they'll go to a conference that costs the company thousands of dollars. They'll come back from the conference, do the same thing that you're doing, and they'll get credit for it. So it happens, not just here, it happens all over. Okay, you two. Well, what would I look up? Well, how about the teacher's name? It's the cheesy picture right here. All right? The maroon picture is my classes. The green picture, the one with the green, olive green, that is tutorials that I do, the questions that I do in my office. So this is where your class is going to be put. You see the playlist? I got last semesters in here. I'll take those off, and I will put another set. And it'll be Math 110, 155, 120. And y'all will be in there. Okay? When you pick them up, when you go to it, first day handouts, that will be today's. Day 2, I even put a dates and planning. I integrated that into today. I had to do this last semester for the online students, dates and planning. So you click on that. I don't like to hear myself talk, so there I am doing a video there, and basically that's I don't know what class it is, 102. That was y'all's class. So, and it helps. Some students it helps, some students they don't look at it. So you can go to my Facebook page. I don't put them up on Facebook as much because most people, it's more accessible through YouTube, so I quit putting them on Facebook. I guess I shouldn't, but it's just easier. And you can go to my pages over here, I don't know, or just look up, there's my mathematics page. And usually I put my schedule on there, as well as anything else math-wise, online videos, I did put them on here. I can put them on there again if you want to, it doesn't matter. Go to my academic advising page. You can go ask me questions on, where's my academic advising page? Where did it go? Oh. There it is. And there's that one. And it basically has my schedules. A lot of students will send me questions about advising, about anything having to do with their degree. I have catalogs. AU catalog, that was a couple of years ago, that kind of stuff. So make sure that you look it up, and I'm on there, so that's another way that you can contact me. Question on that? So what can you say about me as far as getting in touch with you?
Pretty easy on the sheet.
It's pretty easy, all right? All right, now people are moving around. What time is it? Okay, we still got time. Y'all get out at like what, 12? What time?
11.
Oh, okay, so it's time to go. Okay. Let me pull up the attendance. I thought it was 11:30, I'm sorry. Okay, let me get the attendance, and then we'll make sure y'all are here. Attendance tracker. Now, what should you be doing today? Well, you need to get your supplies together. Oh, let me tell you about text. Okay, not text the phone, textbook. Beg, borrow, steal, share, use the ebook online. I don't care. Okay? You want to share a book, you want to buy a used book. I may have one in my office you can have, first come, first serve. You can borrow an old book, you can use an old book 3 years ago, I don't care.
You really don't need a book.
You really don't, because it's online, and how much do I use a book?
Like, rarely.
Very rarely. I use everything online. I pull up everything for you online. You do what you want to. The access code and the ability to use all the resources, which I'm going to go over Wednesday, is $105 online. The book with the access code or whatever is $135. So you can save $30 just by getting the access code. And we will talk about that Wednesday. So you squirrels, don't be running out and spending any money right now, okay? Just chill. Set attendance today. Okay, now, everybody's here. Now I'm going to go through. Miss Black is here. Miss Bronner is here. Miss Carey.
Here.
Where are you? Okay, I got to stare at you. Miss Carey is here. You can leave after I call your name. If you got any questions, come see me. Clayton,
Here.
aren't you lovely? I bet you get that a lot. Cleveland,
Here.
where are you? All right. Craig, all right. Crenshaw, from Pendleton. Oh, you're not from Pendleton? Okay. Fitzsimmons, there you are. Prialdi, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Are you active, brother? Yeah. Okay.
Duffy,
Yeah.
where are you?
Yeah.
All right.
I feel so bad. I did not know that my
You don't know what?
Given the
Geimer or Geimer? Geimer, Kayla, Geimer. Holly's here. Mickle. Richie here. Ryder.
right here, sir.
Sabatool's here. Smith.
Here.
Stolfus.
Here.
Is that correct? Stolfus. That's got to be Scandinavian.
German.
German, okay. Stolfus. Vaughn, Anna. And Vaughn, Andrew. Okay? And Vinning, Vining. And Zug is here. Anybody's name I didn't call? All right, y'all have a good day. Get your stuff together and see y'all Wednesday. You waiting on me?
Yes.
What's your name?
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Brooke Dawson. I'm not in any of your classes. I've been on your wait list. My mom was, I don't know if you know her, but she's from the grade. My mom was here, my aunt, UCD, so, and, I had Black January and Church
Now,
Prayer.
how's your aunt?
Anna, where are you gonna sit?
Uh,
My name is her mom,
So you kids are on mom or mom? Not the aunt. Okay, so what class do you want me to get into? 110? 110 class? When do I teach 120? No? Oh, 12, no, 155, I teach 155. Let's go to my office, I got everything on my office. Yeah, no, I don't have a class. Where's this class? Yeah, this ain't my class. You don't want me teaching this class. Who by this? Oh, man, I gotta load that. Hold on. I gotta go to YouTube to load something. Let me get this off here. And I forgot to turn this off too. You gotta help me remind me to turn this off.